Ancient Motion, Unlocking the Secrets of Peak Performance Through Ancestral Movements. Episode 91, the Peak Performance Podcast. Welcome to episode 91 of the Peak Performance Podcast by me, Brad Young. Today we embark on a fascinating journey into the world of ancestral movements and their profound impact on modern peak performance. In our hyper-technological age, we have somehow lost touch with the fundamental movements that shaped human evolution for millennia. Our bodies remember what our minds have forgotten: the deep squats around ancient fires, the climbing of trees for sustenance, the crawling through dense undergrowth, the balancing across fallen logs over rushing streams. These movements were not exercises. They were survival. They were life itself. This episode explores how reconnecting with these primal movement patterns can unlock levels of performance, vitality, and well-being that modern fitness culture often misses entirely. We will dive deep into practical strategies that honor our ancestral blueprint while fitting seamlessly into contemporary life. Think of this not as a return to the past, but as a reclamation of timeless wisdom that can transform your present and future. The forgotten language of movement. Our ancestors moved with an eloquence that modern humans have largely forgotten. Every day brought a symphony of natural movements: squatting to gather food, climbing to reach safety or resources, crawling through tight spaces, balancing across uneven terrain, lifting, carrying, throwing, and running. These were not isolated exercises performed in fluorescent-lit gyms. They were integrated, purposeful movements woven into the fabric of daily survival and thriving. The human body evolved over hundreds of thousands of years to perform these movements with grace and efficiency. Our skeletal structure, muscular systems, and neurological pathways are all optimized for this ancestral movement vocabulary. When we spend our days sitting in chairs, hunched over screens, moving only in straight lines on flat surfaces, we are essentially speaking a foreign language to our own bodies. The result? Chronic pain, reduced mobility, weakened stabilizer muscles, and a disconnect from our innate physical capabilities. Reconnecting with ancestral movements is not about romanticizing the past or abandoning modern conveniences. It is about recognizing that our bodies have needs that have not changed despite our dramatically altered lifestyles. When we honor these needs, something remarkable happens. We move better. We feel better. We perform better. We tap into a wellspring of natural strength and resilience that has always been within us, waiting to be rediscovered. Power of the deep squat, a foundation movement. The deep squat is perhaps the most fundamental of all ancestral movements. In many traditional cultures around the world, people still spend hours each day in a deep squat position. It is their resting posture, their socializing position, their working stance. Watch a toddler play and you will see them effortlessly drop into a perfect deep squat. Back straight, heels flat on the ground, able to remain there comfortably for extended periods. Most adults in Western cultures have lost this ability entirely. Years of chair sitting have shortened our hip flexors, weakened our ankles, and convinced our bodies that this natural position is somehow dangerous or uncomfortable. Yet the deep squat offers tremendous benefits. It opens the hips, strengthens the legs and core, improves digestion, enhances ankle mobility, and decompresses the spine. Begin reclaiming this movement by simply spending time in the position. Hold on to something for support if needed. Start with 30 seconds and gradually build up. Make it part of your daily routine. Squat while waiting for coffee to brew. Squat while playing with children or pets. Squat while watching television. Your body will remember this position. Give it time and patience. Daily practice. Integrate squatting throughout your day rather than treating it as isolated exercise. The magic happens through consistent, low-intensity exposure over time. Morning routine. Squat for 2 minutes while brushing teeth. Work breaks, drop into a squat instead of sitting. Evening wind down. Squat while reading or scrolling. Social time suggests squatting during conversations. Crawling. Reclaiming ground-based movement. Before we walked, we crawled. This fundamental pattern develops cross body coordination, strengthens the core in dynamic ways, and creates resilient shoulder stability. Yet most adults have not crawled since early childhood. We have literally elevated ourselves away from one of the most neurologically rich movement patterns available to us. Crawling engages the body in ways that vertical movements simply cannot replicate. It requires coordination between opposite limbs, creating neural pathways that enhance overall motor control. It builds tremendous shoulder and core strength through genuine integrated movement rather than isolated muscle work. It challenges spatial awareness and proprioception, and it is incredibly humbling, which makes it a powerful tool for maintaining beginner's mind even in experienced movers. Start with simple baby crawls on hands and knees. Focus on smooth, controlled movement. Keep your core engaged and your spine neutral. As this becomes comfortable, progress to bear crawls where your knees hover just above the ground. Experiment with crawling backwards, sideways, in circles. Crawl up inclines. Make it playful. Your nervous system will light up in ways that conventional exercises rarely achieve. 5 to 10 minutes of varied crawling several times per week can dramatically improve your movement quality, shoulder health, and overall body control. It serves as both a warm up, a workout, and a movement meditation all at once. Climbing and hanging, reconnecting with vertical space. Our ancestors were climbers. They scaled trees to escape predators, to reach food sources, to survey landscapes, to find shelter. Climbing and hanging movements develop grip strength, upper body pulling power, shoulder health, and body awareness in three-dimensional space. They also decompress the spine through natural traction, offering relief that no amount of sitting or standing can provide. Modern life offers precious few opportunities for climbing. We take elevators and escalators. We avoid trees. We live in a predominantly horizontal plane. This deprivation has consequences: weakened grip, shoulder dysfunction, poor posture, and a nervous system deprived of the rich sensory input that comes from vertical movement. You do not need to become a rock climber to reclaim this movement pattern. Start simply by hanging from a pull up bar. Just hang. Let gravity gently stretch your shoulders and decompress your spine. Build up your hanging time gradually. 30 seconds is a good initial goal. Work towards several minutes of accumulated hanging throughout the day. Progress to scapular pulls, where you engage your shoulder blades to create small movements while hanging. Experiment with different grip positions. If you have access to playground equipment, trees, or climbing structures, use them. Approach them with playful curiosity. Climbing does not have to be extreme to be beneficial. Even modest vertical challenges provide disproportionate rewards for overall movement competence and confidence. The art of balance. Balance is not a static quality, but a dynamic conversation between your body and the environment. Our ancestors navigated uneven terrain constantly: rocky paths, fallen logs, slippery stream crossings, shifting sand, muddy slopes. Their nervous systems were constantly adapting, responding, recalibrating. This created remarkable body awareness, ankle strength, and reflexive stability. Today, we walk almost exclusively on flat, predictable surfaces. Our floors are level. Our sidewalks are smooth. Our world has been engineered for stability, and in the process, we have lost our ability to respond skillfully to instability. The result is an epidemic of ankle sprains, falls, and a general disconnection from our physical environment. And practicing balance does not require elaborate equipment. Stand on one foot while waiting in line. Walk along curbs if you have access to natural settings. Walk on uneven trails. Step on rocks and streams. Traverse fallen logs. Create instability at home by standing on a folded towel or pillow. The key is frequent low-stakes practice. Balance training should not feel like training at all. It should feel like play, like exploration, like a conversation between you and the surface beneath your feet. Daily balance practice. Single leg stance while preparing meals, brushing teeth, or during phone calls. Progressive challenge. Eyes closed, standing. Then progress to unstable surfaces and dynamic movements. Integrating ancestral movement into modern life. The beauty of ancestral movement practices is that they require no special equipment, no gym membership, no elaborate time commitments. They can be woven seamlessly into the fabric of your existing life. This is not about adding more to your already full schedule. It is about transforming how you move through the activities you are already doing. Take phone calls while walking or squatting. Watch television from the floor in various positions rather than from the couch. Play with children or pets using crawling and ground based movements. Take stairs when available and take them mindfully, focusing on full range of motion. Park farther away and walk. Take the long route. Carry your groceries rather than using a cart when feasible. Sit on the floor during meals or social gatherings. These small integrations accumulate powerfully over time. You are not looking for the perfect workout, you are cultivating a movement rich lifestyle where natural, varied movement becomes your default rather than the exception. This approach is far more sustainable and ultimately more effective than sporadic, intense exercise sessions separated by long periods of stillness. Consider also deliberately choosing environments that invite natural movement. Spend time in parks, forests, beaches, or any natural setting where the terrain varies. Let your body respond to the landscape. Walk barefoot when safe and appropriate, allowing your feet to receive rich sensory information from varied surfaces. The goal is to make movement an integrated part of living rather than a separate activity you check off a list. Ancestral nutrition, the foundation of performance. Movement and nutrition are inseparable partners in the pursuit of peak performance. Just as our bodies evolved to move in particular ways, they also evolved to thrive on particular types of foods. Our ancestors ate a remarkably diverse diet of whole, unprocessed foods, vegetables, fruits, nuts, seeds, tubers, lean meats, fish, and occasional honey. Their food was nutrient dense, minimally processed, and varied seasonally and geographically. The modern food environment could not be more different. We have access to an overwhelming abundance of highly processed, calorie dense, nutrient poor foods engineered to hijack our taste preferences and override our natural satiety signals. We eat the same foods year round. We consume substances that did not exist even 50 years ago. We have created a profound mismatch between what our bodies expect and what we provide them. Returning to ancestral nutritional principles does not mean following a rigid diet or eliminating entire food groups. It means prioritizing whole, minimally processed foods that humans have eaten for thousands of years. It means eating a wide variety of plant foods to ensure diverse micronutrient intake. It means choosing quality sources of protein and healthy fats. It means recognizing that food is information for your body, not just fuel or pleasure. Focus on filling your plate with vegetables of many colors, each offering different phytonutrients and health benefits. Include fruits, especially berries rich in antioxidants. Incorporate nuts and seeds for healthy fats, minerals, and fiber. Choose high quality proteins from both animal and plant sources based on your preferences and values. Use herbs and spices liberally, as these concentrated plant compounds offer remarkable health benefits. Minimize processed foods, added sugars, and industrial seed oils. This simple framework aligns closely with how humans ate for the vast majority of our evolutionary history. Avoiding nutritional rigidity. No perfect diet exists. One of the most liberating truths about nutrition is that there is no single perfect diet for all humans. We evolved in diverse environments, eating vastly different foods based on geography, season, and availability. Some populations thrived on diets high in animal foods. Others flourished on predominantly plant-based diets. Still others ate diets heavy in seafood or fermented foods or specific staples unique to their region. This evolutionary diversity means your optimal diet may look quite different from someone else's optimal diet. Your genetic background, current health status, activity level, goals, values, and food sensitivities all play roles in determining what works best for you. Becoming dogmatic about any single dietary approach closes you off from this personalized discovery process. Experiment thoughtfully. The key is thoughtful experimentation guided by honest observation of how different foods and eating patterns make you feel and perform. Try a Mediterranean approach rich in olive oil, fish, vegetables, and whole grains. Experiment with a paleo framework, emphasizing meat, vegetables, fruits, nuts, and seeds while excluding grains and legumes. Explore plant based eating with careful attention to protein and nutrient adequacy. Give each approach adequate time, at least several weeks, to allow your body to adapt. Pay attention to energy levels, sleep quality, mood, digestion, recovery from exercise, and overall sense of well being. Keep notes. Be honest with yourself about what you observe rather than what you expected or hoped to observe. Listen to your body. Your body provides constant feedback about what serves it well. Learn to distinguish between genuine physical signals and conditioned preferences or emotional responses to food. True hunger feels different from boredom or stress eating. Foods that genuinely nourish you provide sustained energy rather than spikes and crashes. Quality nutrition improves mental clarity, stable mood, and restful sleep. Be willing to adjust your approach as your needs change. The diet that serves you well during intense training may need modification during recovery periods. What works in your 20s may need refinement in your 40s. Pregnancy, illness, stress, and life transitions all influence nutritional needs. Flexibility and responsiveness serve you far better than rigid adherence to rules. The power of nutritional variety. One of the most significant advantages our ancestors had was nutritional diversity. They did not eat the same foods day after day, year after year. Seasonal availability ensured constant variety. Migration patterns exposed them to different food sources. Necessity meant eating a wide range of plant and animal foods rather than relying on a narrow selection of favorites. This diversity provided several crucial benefits. First, it ensured a broad spectrum of micronutrients, since different foods contain different vitamins, minerals, and phytonutrients. Second, it supported a diverse gut microbiome as different plant fibers feed different beneficial bacteria. Third, it reduced the risk of developing food sensitivities through repetitive exposure to the same proteins. Fourth, it provided built-in insurance against nutritional deficiencies. Modern eating patterns often lack this variety. We eat the same breakfast every day, rotate between a handful of dinner options, snack on the same processed foods. Even when eating healthy foods, we can fall into repetitive patterns. Always spinach, never other leafy greens. Always chicken breast, never other proteins. Always the same vegetables. Deliberately cultivating variety in your diet pays remarkable dividends. Challenge yourself to eat a different vegetable every day for a week. Explore ethnic grocery stores for unfamiliar plant foods. Try different sources of protein. Vary your fat sources between olive oil, avocado, nuts, seeds, and fatty fish. Eat seasonally when possible, allowing natural cycles to create built-in variety. Shop at farmers markets where the changing offerings guide your selections. Make it an adventure rather than a chore. Your body will reward you with improved health, performance, and resilience. Sleep, the ultimate performance enhancer. If there is a single most powerful tool for optimizing human performance, it is sleep. Nothing else comes close. Yet our modern culture treats sleep as negotiable, as something to sacrifice in pursuit of productivity, entertainment, or social obligations. This is a catastrophic mistake. Sleep is not downtime. It is when your body and brain perform essential maintenance, consolidation, and restoration that cannot happen any other way. Our ancestors slept in alignment with natural light dark cycles. They woke with the sun and became drowsy as darkness fell. Their sleep was deeply influenced by firelight in the evening, true darkness at night, and the gradual lightening of dawn. Their circadian rhythms were powerfully entrained to environmental cues, creating robust sleep-wake cycles that supported optimal health and performance. Modern life has shattered this natural alignment. We bathe ourselves in bright artificial light late into the night. We look at stimulating screens right before bed. We keep irregular schedules that confuse our circadian systems. We sleep in rooms that are too bright, too warm, or too noisy. We consume caffeine late in the day and alcohol in the evening, both of which degrade sleep quality despite seeming helpful in the moment. The consequences are devastating. Poor sleep impairs cognitive function, emotional regulation, immune function, metabolic health, and physical performance. It increases injury risk, slows recovery, and accelerates aging. Chronic sleep deprivation is linked to virtually every chronic disease. Yet optimizing sleep is relatively straightforward when you align with ancestral principles and work with your biology rather than against it. Optimizing your sleep environment. Create true darkness. Your bedroom should be dark, not dim, dark. Our ancestors slept under stars and in shelters with no artificial light. This complete darkness allowed melatonin production to remain high throughout the night, supporting deep restorative sleep. Use blackout curtains or shades to eliminate outside light. Cover or remove electronic devices with illuminated displays. Consider an eye mask if complete darkness is not achievable. Even small amounts of light can disrupt sleep quality by suppressing melatonin and signaling to your brain that it is time to wake. Temperature and sound. Cooler temperatures promote better sleep as your core body temperature naturally drops during sleep onset. Aim for a bedroom temperature between 60 and 67 degrees Fahrenheit. Use breathable bedding materials. Consider cooling devices if your environment is too warm. Minimize noise disruptions through soundproofing if possible, white noise machines, or earplugs. Consistent, gentle background sounds can mask sudden noises that might wake you. The goal is a quiet, peaceful environment that allows continuous, undisturbed sleep cycles throughout the night. Aligning with natural light-dark cycles. Your circadian rhythm is perhaps the most fundamental biological rhythm governing human health and performance. This internal clock coordinates everything from hormone release to body temperature to immune function to cognitive performance. It evolved to synchronize with the solar day using light as the primary timing cue. When your circadian rhythm is well aligned, you experience natural energy during the day, appropriate drowsiness at night, and all the health benefits that come from proper temporal coordination of biological processes. The single most powerful action you can take to support your circadian rhythm is to get bright light exposure early in the morning, ideally within the first hour of waking. This morning light signal tells your internal clock that day has begun, suppressing melatonin, increasing cortisol appropriately, and setting a timer for when melatonin will rise again approximately 14 to 16 hours later. Outdoor light is ideal, as it is far brighter than indoor lighting, even on cloudy days. Just 10 to 20 minutes can make a significant difference. As evening approaches, begin dimming lights in your environment. Avoid bright overhead lights. Use lamps and warm toned lighting instead. Minimize screen time in the hours before bed, or use blue light filtering apps and glasses if screen use is necessary. This gradual transition from bright light to darkness mimics the natural progression our ancestors experienced as the sun set, allowing melatonin to rise naturally and preparing your body for sleep. Maintain consistent sleep and wake times as much as possible, even on weekends. Your circadian system thrives on regularity and predictability. When you keep erratic schedules, you essentially create perpetual jet lag, never allowing your internal clock to fully stabilize. Consistency is one of the most underappreciated factors in sleep quality and overall well-being. Balancing activity and rest. Our ancestors did not maintain constant intensity. Their lives had natural rhythms of activity and rest, exertion and recovery, engagement and reflection. Hunting required intense effort followed by periods of rest and food preparation. Gathering involved steady movement interspersed with sorting and processing. Social activities alternated with solitude. This oscillation between stress and recovery is fundamental to building resilience and avoiding burnout. Modern life often lacks this natural rhythm. We maintain moderate intensity constantly, never fully active and never fully resting. We sit all day staring at screens, maintaining cognitive and visual intensity while remaining physically still. We carry low-grade stress chronically rather than experiencing acute challenges followed by complete recovery. We fill every moment with stimulation, never allowing genuine rest and integration. Peak performance requires both intense effort and genuine recovery. You cannot optimize one without the other. Training stimulus without adequate recovery leads to breakdown rather than adaptation. Rest without preceding challenge leads to deconditioning and stagnation. The magic happens in the oscillation between the two states. Build your days in weeks with intentional rhythm. Include periods of focused, intense worker training. Follow these with genuine breaks where you fully disengage. Take walks, sit quietly, let your mind wander. Practice doing nothing without guilt. Structure your weeks to include both high intensity days and recovery days. Notice how your energy naturally fluctuates and honor these patterns rather than fighting them. The goal is sustainable high performance over years and decades, not unsustainable intensity that leads to inevitable collapse. The simplicity of proper hydration. Water is life's most fundamental requirement. Our bodies are approximately 60% water. Every cellular process depends on adequate hydration. Blood volume, nutrient transport, temperature regulation, joint lubrication, cognitive function, and detoxification all require sufficient water, yet many people live in a state of chronic mild dehydration without recognizing it, accepting fatigue, headaches, and poor concentration as normal rather than recognizing them as signs of inadequate hydration. Our ancestors obtained water from natural sources, streams, rivers, springs, morning dew, and the high water content of fresh plant and animal foods. They drank when thirsty, which was often given their activity levels and outdoor living. They did not have constant access to water, which meant they drank deeply when they did have access, and their bodies adapted to handle variable hydration status. You have the luxury of constant water availability, yet you may be drinking less than your ancestors did. The key is consistent intake throughout the day, rather than gulping large amounts infrequently. Keep water accessible wherever you spend time. Drink before you feel desperately thirsty, as thirst is actually a late signal of dehydration. Pay attention to urine color as a practical indicator. Pale yellow suggests good hydration, while dark yellow indicates you need more water. Individual water needs vary based on body size, activity level, climate, and diet. There is no magic number that applies to everyone. Generally, consuming half your body weight in ounces provides a reasonable baseline for most people. So, someone weighing 160 pounds might aim for 80 ounces daily, adjusting upward with exercise, heat, or other factors that increase water loss. Trust your body's signals. Thirst, dry mouth, fatigue, and dark urine all suggest you need more water. Quality and timing of hydration. Water quality matters. Not all water is created equal. Our ancestors drank fresh, clean water from natural sources. Modern tap water often contains chlorine, fluoride, and other additives, plus potential contaminants from aging infrastructure. While regulations ensure basic safety, optimizing hydration means considering water quality. Filter your drinking water to remove chlorine, heavy metals, and other potential contaminants. Simple carbon filters do work well for most purposes. Avoid plastic bottles when possible, as they can leach chemicals into water, especially when heated. Glass or stainless steel containers are better choices. If you drink sparkling water, choose naturally carbonated options without added sodium or artificial ingredients. Consider adding a pinch of natural sea salt to your water, especially after intense exercise or sweating. Sodium and other trace minerals help your body retain and properly utilize water rather than passing it through without benefit. This is particularly important for people who eat low sodium diets or exercise heavily. Strategic timing. While you should drink throughout the day, certain times offer particular benefits. Start your morning with a large glass of water to rehydrate after the overnight fast. Drink water upon waking before coffee or breakfast. This helps flush metabolic waste, supports digestion, and jumpstarts your system. Avoid drinking large amounts immediately before bed, as this can disrupt sleep with nighttime bathroom trips. Instead, front load your hydration earlier in the day. Drink steadily until early evening, then taper off to minimize sleep disruption. During meals, drink modestly rather than consuming large amounts of water with food. Excessive liquid can dilute digestive enzymes and stomach acid, potentially impairing digestion. Sip water as needed, but save larger amounts for between meals. Natural recovery, learning from ancestral wisdom. Recovery is not passive rest. It is an active process of restoration that allows your body and mind to integrate stress, repair damage, and build greater capacity. Our ancestors recovered naturally through their daily lives without thinking of it as recovery. They spent time outdoors, engaged with their communities, moved gently, played, told stories, and connected with natural environments. These activities were not structured recovery protocols, they were simply how life was lived, yet they provided profound restorative benefits. Modern recovery often takes the form of processed interventions, ice baths, compression boots, supplement stacks, elaborate protocols. While some of these tools have merit, they can distract from simpler, more fundamental recovery practices that cost nothing and often work better. The ancestral approach to recovery emphasizes connection to nature, to others, to yourself, and to fundamental human needs. Time in nature is perhaps the most powerful recovery tool available. Forests, mountains, beaches, parks, and natural settings have measurable effects on stress hormones, heart rate variability, blood pressure, immune function, and mood. The Japanese practice of forest bathing, or Shinrin Yoku, has been extensively studied and shown to provide remarkable benefits from as little as 20 minutes of presence in a natural environment. So the mechanism is not fully understood, but likely involves multiple factors. The visual complexity and beauty of natural scenes, the phytoncides released by trees that have antimicrobial and stress reducing effects, the natural light and fresh air, the gentle unpredictability that engages attention without demanding it, and the psychological shift that comes from stepping away from built environments and technology. You do not need to hike or exercise. Simply being present in nature provides profound recovery benefits. Mindfulness as ancestral practice. Present moment awareness. Mindfulness is often presented as a modern wellness trend, but it reflects a capacity humans have always possessed and needed. Our ancestors survived through exquisite awareness of their environment and internal states. They noticed subtle changes in weather, animal behavior, plant growth, and their own bodies. This attention was not meditation in a formal sense, but it was a lived mindfulness that kept them safe, fed, and connected. You can cultivate this quality of attention without elaborate meditation practices, though formal meditation certainly helps. Begin by simply pausing throughout your day to notice what is happening right now. What do you see, hear, smell, feel? What sensations exist in your body? What thoughts are passing through your mind? You're not trying to change anything, just noticing with curiosity and without judgment. Breath awareness. Your breath is always with you, always available as an anchor to the present moment. Our ancestors did not need to be taught to breathe. They responded naturally to stress with appropriate breathing patterns, rapid breathing during exertion or acute threat, slow, deep breathing during rest and safety. Modern life has disrupted these natural patterns, leaving many people breathing shallowly and rapidly, even during rest. Take moments throughout your day to simply notice your breath. Is it shallow or deep? Fast or slow? Smooth or irregular? Then, without forcing, allow your breath to deepen and slow. Breathe into your belly rather than just your chest. Extend your exhales to be slightly longer than your inhales. This simple practice activates your parasympathetic nervous system, promoting recovery and calm. Sensory engagement. Much of modern life happens in our heads, lost in thought about past or future while barely registering present sensory experience. Our ancestors lived through their senses, constantly gathering information from their environment. Reclaiming this sensory awareness is both grounding and restorative. Practice eating a meal with full attention to taste, texture, temperature, and aroma. Walk without headphones and listen to the sounds around you. Feel different textures deliberately throughout your day. Watch clouds, flames, or water with relaxed attention. Smell flowers, herbs, or fresh air deeply. This sensory richness feeds your nervous system in ways that abstract thinking cannot, providing genuine recovery through simple presence. Minimizing processed recovery. The wellness and fitness industries promote countless recovery products, supplements, devices, and protocols. Some offer real value. Many are unnecessary or even counterproductive, creating dependence on external interventions rather than developing your body's natural recovery capacities. There is also the risk of spending so much time, money, and mental energy on elaborate recovery protocols that you neglect the fundamental practices that matter most. Our ancestors recovered without supplements, ice baths, compression gear, or recovery apps. They had sleep, nutritious food, movement, community, nature, and time. These fundamental factors created robust recovery and resilience. Before adding complex interventions, ensure you have optimized the basics. Are you sleeping enough? Is your nutrition supporting rather than undermining recovery? Are you managing stress? Are you spending time in nature and with people you care about? This is not to say advanced recovery tools are worthless. Cold exposure, sauna, massage, and other interventions can complement fundamental practices effectively. The key is maintaining proper hierarchy. Fundamentals first, enhancements second. A person who sleeps poorly, eats processed food, and lives in chronic stress will not recover well regardless of how much they spend on recovery technology. But someone who has optimized the basics can amplify results with strategic use of additional tools. Also recognize that some processed recovery interventions may actually impair your body's natural adaptation. Aggressive icing after every workout may blunt the inflammatory response that drives beneficial adaptation. Relying on anti-inflammatories can interfere with tissue remodeling. Constantly manipulating your nervous system with supplements may reduce its ability to self-regulate. Sometimes the best intervention is minimal intervention, allowing your body to do what it evolved to do: recover, adapt, and grow stronger through its own wisdom. Social connection as recovery. Humans are profoundly social creatures. We evolved in small bands and tribes where cooperation, communication, and connection were essential for survival. Our nervous systems are wired for social engagement, and genuine connection with others activates recovery pathways that nothing else can replicate. When we feel safe, seen, and valued in relationship with others, our bodies relax at the deepest level. Loneliness and social isolation are increasingly recognized as major health risks, comparable to smoking or obesity. They increase stress hormones, impair immune function, disrupt sleep, and accelerate aging. Conversely, strong social connections improve virtually every health outcome, speed recovery from illness and injury, and increase both lifespan and quality of life. This is not a minor factor in performance and well-being. It is central. Yet modern life has in many ways fractured traditional social structures. We live far from extended family. We work remotely or in transient jobs. We move frequently. We interact through screens more than face to face. We are simultaneously more connected digitally and more isolated physically than ever before. This creates a challenging context for meeting our deep need for genuine social connection. Prioritize real, in-person connection. Make time for friends and family despite busy schedules. Share meals together. Have conversations without screens present. Join groups or communities around shared interests or values. Volunteer. Help neighbors. The specific activities matter less than the quality of connection they facilitate. Look for opportunities to contribute and belong rather than just consume and transact. Also recognize that some social interaction can be draining rather than restorative. Not all social exposure is equally beneficial. Superficial networking, obligatory events, or relationships characterized by conflict or performance pressure may add stress rather than relieving it. Cultivate relationships that feel nourishing, where you can be authentic and where mutual care exists. These are the connections that truly support recovery and resilience. Playfulness and joy in movement. Watch children move, and you see pure playfulness. They run, jump, climb, roll, spin, and explore movement for the sheer joy of it. There is no workout plan, no optimization strategy, no performance goal, just curiosity, experimentation, and delight in physical expression. This is how our ancestors moved as well. Movement was woven into life, often challenging, but also often playful, social, and intrinsically rewarding. Adult movement is often stripped of this quality. Exercise becomes work, something to endure for future benefits rather than enjoy in the present. We track, measure, analyze, and optimize, treating our bodies as machines to be tuned rather than as vessels for experiencing life fully. This approach can be effective for specific performance goals, but it also loses something essential. When movement becomes pure obligation, we lose intrinsic motivation and the psychological benefits that come from genuine enjoyment. Reclaim playfulness in your movement practice. Dance unself consciously. Move in ways that feel good rather than only in prescribed patterns. Play sports or games recreationally without taking them too seriously. Explore movement just to see what your body can do. Move with others in ways that create connection and laughter. Let go of perfect form sometimes and just enjoy the sensation of moving. This playful approach complements rather than contradicts structured training. You can have both. You can pursue serious performance goals through disciplined practice while also maintaining space for movement joy. In fact, the playfulness may enhance your structured training by maintaining intrinsic motivation, reducing psychological stress, and creating positive associations with physical challenge. The best performers in any domain maintain some quality of play in their practice, finding enjoyment even in difficult work. Practical implementation, creating your ancestral lifestyle. Transforming your lifestyle to align with ancestral principles can feel overwhelming when you consider everything we have discussed. The key is starting with small, sustainable changes that compound over time rather than attempting a complete overnight transformation. Choose one or two practices that resonate most strongly and commit to them for several weeks before adding more. Perhaps you begin with morning sunlight exposure and nightly darkness in your bedroom, or you add a daily squat practice and more varied vegetables to your diet, or you commit to spending 20 minutes in nature each day while working on gradually improving your sleep schedule. The specific starting point matters less than consistency and gradual expansion. Track your implementation not obsessively, but mindfully. Notice what you're actually doing versus what you intend to do. Notice how different practices make you feel. Notice which changes come easily and which require more effort. This information helps you refine your approach over time, emphasizing what works for your unique life and body while adapting or releasing what does not serve you. Weekly integration. Consider a weekly rhythm that includes daily morning sunlight and evening darkness. Movement practice 4 to 6 days, including ancestral patterns. Time in nature at least 3 times weekly. Whole food meals with variety in plants and proteins. 7 to 9 hours quality sleep nightly. Social connection through shared meals or activities. Mindful moments woven throughout each day. Overcoming modern obstacles. Implementing ancestral principles within modern life presents real challenges. You cannot simply opt out of contemporary society and live as a hunter-gatherer, nor would you want to forfeit the genuine benefits of modern life, including medical care, technology, and global connection. The goal is integration, taking wisdom from our ancestral past and applying it thoughtfully within modern contexts. Time constraints are often cited as the primary barrier. Work demands, family responsibilities, and social obligations fill schedules, leaving little room for additional practices. Yet many ancestral approaches do not require extra time so much as different use of existing time. Squat while playing with children. Walk or bike for transportation. Eat nourishing meals you would eat anyway. Sleep the hours you already spend in bed, but with better quality. Replace some screen time with outdoor time or social connection. Small substitutions create meaningful change without demanding major time investments. Environmental limitations also present challenges. You may live in a city with limited nature access, in a climate that makes outdoor activity difficult certain times of year, or in a living situation that constrains your choices around food, light, or space. Work within your constraints creatively rather than using them as reasons to abandon the entire approach. Even small parks offer nature exposure. Indoor plants and nature imagery provide some benefit when outdoor access is limited. Grow what food you can, even herbs in a windowsill. Use light therapy devices if natural light is insufficient. Social and cultural pressures can also complicate implementation. Family members or friends may not understand or support your choices. Social events may center around foods that do not align with your nutritional principles. Work culture may normalize poor sleep and constant availability. Navigate these pressures with both conviction and flexibility. Clearly communicate your values and needs while also finding compromise where appropriate. Build community with others who share similar values. Model the benefits of your choices rather than preaching them. Measuring progress beyond numbers. Modern fitness and wellness culture emphasizes quantification. We track steps, heart rate, sleep stages, calories, macronutrients, body composition, and countless other metrics. Data has value for identifying patterns and measuring certain aspects of progress. But over-reliance on numbers can obscure more important qualitative changes that define genuine thriving. How do you feel when you wake up? Do you have steady energy throughout the day or experience dramatic peaks and crashes? How is your mood, your mental clarity, your emotional resilience? Can you move through daily activities with ease and competence? Do you recover well from physical and mental challenges? Are you getting sick less often? Do you feel connected to your body rather than alienated from it? These subjective experiences matter more than any single number on a scale or fitness tracker. Notice improvements in movement quality rather than just quantitative measures like speed or load. Can you squat more deeply? Does climbing feel more natural? Has your balance improved? Do everyday movements feel easier and more fluid? These functional improvements translate directly to enhanced quality of life in ways that abstract numbers often do not. Pay attention to what inspires you to continue these practices. If they feel like pure obligation, something needs adjustment. Ancestral approaches should enhance your life, creating more energy, vitality, joy, and capacity rather than adding burden. When practices are well aligned with your needs, you will feel drawn to them rather than forcing them through willpower alone. The goal is sustainable transformation that becomes your natural way of living rather than a temporary phase of strict adherence followed by inevitable relapse. Your ancestral journey forward. You've reached the end of episode 91, but this is not an ending. It is an invitation to begin. Everything we have explored, from fundamental movement patterns to nutritional variety to sleep optimization to natural recovery, represents not a destination, but a direction. You are reclaiming birthrights that were never truly lost, only forgotten. Your body remembers how to move, how to nourish itself, how to rest, how to recover. You are simply removing the obstacles that modern life has placed in the way of these innate capacities. Start where you are with what you have. You do not need perfect circumstances or complete knowledge or ideal conditions. You need willingness to experiment, curiosity about what serves you, and patience with the gradual process of transformation. Small, consistent actions compound remarkably over time. The squat practice that feels awkward today becomes effortless in months. The sleep routine that requires discipline initially becomes your preferred way of living. The nutrition choices that seem restrictive reveal themselves as liberating when you experience the energy and vitality they provide. Remember that ancestral principles are not rigid rules, but guiding frameworks. They reflect what generally worked well for humans across diverse environments and cultures over vast stretches of time. Within these broad patterns exists tremendous room for individual variation and personal discovery. Your optimal implementation will be unique to you, shaped by your body, your circumstances, your values, and your goals. Trust the process of experimentation. Pay attention to results. Adjust thoughtfully based on honest observation. Share what you learn. These practices gain power when they become cultural rather than purely individual. Invite others to join you in squatting and seeking nature and prioritizing sleep and eating real food. Create community around these values. The isolated pursuit of optimization is far less powerful and sustainable than collective movement toward thriving. We're social beings who influence and are influenced by those around us. Use this fact to support positive change for yourself and others. Finally, maintain perspective about what truly matters. Peak performance is not an end in itself, it is a means to living fully, contributing meaningfully, and experiencing the richness that human existence offers. The ultimate measure of success is not how fast you run or how much you lift or what numbers your blood work shows. It is whether you feel alive, capable, connected, and purposeful. Ancestral wisdom points us toward this fuller definition of thriving, where physical vitality supports rather than replaces the emotional, social, and spiritual dimensions of human flourishing. Thank you for joining this exploration of ancient motion and ancestral wisdom. May you move well, eat well, sleep well, and live well. Until next time, this is the Peak Performance Podcast.